Well, little Geeky, are you ready to learn?
Yeah, science is my favorite subject to learn.
And it's my favorite subject to teach. Today we'll be talking about plants and their food-making process. So, what do we already know about plants, Geeky? This plant is just like you and me. It breathes, it eats, it drinks water, it senses things, it listens, and it is alive.
Hey, lady. I've been noticing you teaching some misguiding things to this kid that can lead to confusion about his plants. We don't eat or drink. We got no gnashers or lingua or gullet. We simply absorb water to make our sugary and break it down later in energy form to store it. Stop giving us human-like qualities. Our kids will start feeding us bread.
You see, different parts of the plants have different roles. For example, the roots absorb nutrients and water, which is needed to keep the plant full and to provide energy for it. And that's why it's a good idea to compost, to make the soil more nutritious.
Megan, when you say keep it full and to give energy without explaining photosynthesis, little Geeky here be thinking plants eat what folks feed them. Take a look.
Performance Organics, an organic plant food that really works fast, helping plants grow twice as big.
Common fertilizer, plant food, does a disservice to the power of plants. In the presence of sunlight, us plants can make our own food. I'm a gourmet chef myself that specializes in locally sourced vegan dishes.
What? Wow! Can you make pizza?
No! Our only so-called food is sugar that we make by linking together atoms from carbon dioxide and water.
Wait, sugar? You only make sugar? And you only eat sugar? And how can you live on sugar? Aren't you afraid of diabetes? What kind of chef only knows how to make one recipe?
Listen, I don't know what diabetes means, but my sugar is of the first water.
We also know that plants require 3 main things for survival. Would you like to name them?
I think it's sunlight and water.
You're forgetting just one thing. Air is also important, specifically carbon dioxide.
I can set with that. We surely need these things to make our sugar, but for growth, we also need clean and nutritious soil, space for our roots to spread, the right temperature, and time, of course.
Of course, that's what I meant to say. What I meant to say is that plants use carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water to make their sugar. And this sugar making process is what we call photosynthesis. In fact, did you know that photo means light and synthesis means put together? So altogether, photosynthesis means putting together with light. This process happens in green plants, which use energy from the sun to transform water, minerals, carbon dioxide, and sunlight into O2 and sugar. We've heard so many times that sugar or glucose is consumed, and the oxygen is released into the air for animals and us humans to breathe. And what gas do we give them in turn, Geeky?
Carbon dioxide.
Correct! That's right!
No, it's not!
What could it be this time?
Well, oxygen isn't the goal of photosynthesis. It's just a byproduct, so it's made on the side incidentally.
Miss Leastray, why does this happen in green plants?
Those plants have a green substance called chlorophyll in them. I think I spelled that wrong. Also, remember what I said about plants needing sunlight? Well, you might be thinking, how do they collect sunlight? It has to do with their green color. You see, these plants are green because of a substance called chlorophyll in them. Well, this green pigment is used to trap light or energy from the sun and convert it into sugar through photosynthesis.
Oh. If chlorophyll is green, that means non-green plants can't trap sunlight because there is no chlorophyll. So, only green plants do photosynthesis.
Absolutely not! Chlorophyll absorbs practically the whole light spectrum except green. Plants that are green just have pigments of other colors in large enough concentrations that you see them rather than the chlorophyll. One absorbs a wider range but with less energetic input, and the other has a smaller range and is more energetically efficient. For example, in the fall or after sharp temperature drops, chlorophyll in tree leaves deteriorate and as a result, change color.
Well, that is right. But you see, I'm trying to make it simple for the kid.
Well, then you must avoid saying green plants. I'm yellow. Just say plants, or that green plants have more visible chlorophyll than non-green plants. Got it?
Okay, fair. But no more interruptions. Now, what parts of a plant do what, and how is sugar really made? Looking back at our equation, the things we need are water, sunlight, and CO2. Firstly, the roots absorb the water moves up the stem and into the leaves because there are little veins that carry the water and distribute it all throughout the leaves. For the sunlight and CO2, both are taken in by the leaves. Since the top of the plant is exposed to the most sunlight, specialized cells for trapping light are also at the top. They are called chloroplasts, which are packed with chlorophyll, and that is why the top part of the leaf is far more greener and darker than the bottom part. Now, the carbon dioxide enters the leaf through little pores called stomata from under the leaf. Now we have gathered everything we need inside the leaf. And now, through a series of cycles and reactions, oxygen and sugar is formed.
Wow, this is so cool. I never knew leaves could do so much.
Yeah, they sure are vital for a plant, and that's why the leaves are called the plant's food factory. So, Lil Geeky, tell me what is photosynthesis?
A process where plants transport sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into oxygen and sugar.
Yeah, and
the sugar is what they eat, and it gives them energy, while the oxygen is released into the air.
good job, Geeky. You're right. You're a fast learner, I must say.
Misconception! And this is another common misconception. Students think CO2 is transformed into oxygen, but plants do not convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. The oxygen produced during photosynthesis comes from water, but plants do, however, convert atmospheric CO2 into sugars.
I'm confused. What you say does not match what the plant says.
Those kids, little sponge brains that go about the world soaking up every detail, exploring and reflecting on the world around them. And with this, creating their own ideas and justifications for how things are and how they work. However, these crumb grinders often form inaccurate ideas about me and my kind of species. These misconceptions can develop on their own or through oversimplification or generalization from parents, teachers, media, friends, or relatives. According to an article by the Ohio State University, a lot of these misconceptions can persist into adulthood, and education researchers have stated difficulty in eradicating misconceptions once established. Anyways, guys, once Miss Lee Stray got fired, she conducted a survey to see what other kids understood about plants, as she realized how wrong she was fooling Lil Geeky and not checking her sources when giving lessons. Her survey asked 8 questions about plant structures, functions, and photosynthesis. Here are the results. Upon asking 5 kids between the ages of 7 and 10, for question 1, 3 participants answered correctly. In question 2, 1 person got it right. In question 4 and 5, 2 people did. In question 6, 3 people got it right. In question 7, everyone answered correctly. And in question 3 and 8, no one got it right. This shows the lack of understanding these kids have about plants. To see what questions were asked, click the link in the description box. Go ahead and challenge yourself. Can you get a perfect score? After watching the video, are things more clear? Did I do a good job?